another edition of Razor's Edge for Rookies. Today's tip, I'm going to teach you how to jazz up your acknowledgement letters. You know, if you are an organization that does a lot of different gifts and you're trying to do something unique with your acknowledgement letters, I'm going to show you a trick that just might make your life a little easier. All right, so in Razor's Edge, as I'm sure you know, in order to go into the word wizard and change a thank you letter template, you actually need to have a gift in your system that needs to be acknowledged. Now, if you don't have a batch that you've just done or a gift that you put in that you haven't done a thank you letter for, you can just go into a previous letter, mark it unacknowledged, and that way at least you can get into the wizard. All right, so let's take a look at what I've done here. I've created a batch and I've done 3 gifts of differing gift amounts. Now, what I've also done is if I scroll over and I show you, every single one of them is getting the same thank you letter. Even though it's the same thank you letter, in the word wizard, I'm going to show you a trick that can actually make each of these letters slightly customized. Okay, so I've done my batch. It's batch 2012-20. And now, just like any other day that you go into your thank you letters, you're going to go to your acknowledgement letters, and you open it up, and you usually identify what you're going to do by the query that is created by the batch itself. So in my case, I think I did that one on the 19th. Oh, no, it was on the 20th. Sorry, bear with me. There it is. And so now here's my batch is identified. I'm going to now go through the word wizard, which is here on the top. What will happen, just like every day, if you use this feature, when you get into the wizard, it's going to ask you to acknowledge the gifts. Now, you should always be in the practice of saying no at the start of this. This is just an inappropriate time to be asking this question. It should be coming after you get your letters in hand. And the reason is, I mean, you might run out of printer ink. There's all kinds of problems that can go wrong with a letter. Maybe it has to be redone, and if you try to go back and regenerate it, it's going to say there's no records that meet the criteria because they're all acknowledged. So you say no. Now in the word grid template, as we go in here, I'm going to basically get to the template for my annual giving thank you. See that one right there? Now when I open it up, we're going to edit the actual merge document. Now what I'm going to show you is a couple tricks that Word has built into it. They have those really nifty features. Now this is just a basic thank you letter. You know, obviously yours is a lot prettier with a letterhead and your tax ID number and all that, but this is just for instructional purposes. So when you have a donation that's given, you might want to use wording like, thank you for your generous donation of X amount, right? Or in the event that the gift amount is above a certain threshold, maybe you want to add the word very. So you would say, thank you for your very generous gift of blah, 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 you know, or, you know, you might be in that situation where you have 2 people in your office that actually do the signing of the thank you letters based on gift amount. So if you had a person that, you know, maybe you have a development associate that signs all of the letters that are $200 or less, or $100 and less, and maybe the executive director says anything higher than that I sign. So this is a cool little nifty trick that you can actually implement on your existing letter. So wherever you want to put in the conditional fields, now like in this case, I'm just going to take out some of the wording here, and we're going to put in generous, and where you want to say that conditional extra field, like very, what you can do is come up to here where it says insert word field. You see that? And this nifty little feature called if then else. It's basically a conditional formatting. It's going to review the data that's being sent to it, and based on the data that you tell it to, it will do something. So in this case, the field name that we're looking for would be gift amount. And if we said is greater than or equal to, and let's make it say 200, right? Then we're going to insert this text, very space. Now remember, you got to put in a space if it's going to be up against another word, or it'll butt up together, all right? And then just say okay. Now, what will happen is any gift that's over that threshold will say very generous, and the ones that aren't, that word very won't be there. Now, let's also go down and do this signature section here. Now, if we basically have, what I'm going to do is remove the signatures here, and I'm going to put in a conditional formatting. I'll say insert if then else, and if gift amount, just like we did before, is greater than or equal to, and we'll use the same threshold, 200, you insert this text, and we'll say big boss executive director, you know. And then otherwise insert this text, and we'll say little boss development director. You guys get the gist, right? Okay, so once it's done and you say, okay, save and return to RE7, go ahead with the merge, and what'll happen is you'll see how this pans out. Okay, so here we are with our first example. Thank you for your very generous gift of $250. Big Boss, Executive Director. Let's scroll down. Thank you for your generous donation of $150. Little Boss, Development Director. I hope this tip helped. And for more of your training requirements, check out Razor's Edge for Rookies, and have a good day.